Once again, I am responding to these guys from Genesis Apologetics. But today it's going to be a little bit different, not just because you can see my face, but because I'm not going to play much of the original video. That's because they don't say very many things that are factual. They don't say very many things that we can just look up. But instead they go for extreme ambiguity. Eventually they start talking about cladograms, or the tree of life, if you will.
Remember that modern evolutionary classification is a rapidly changing science with a difficult goal: to present all life on a single evolutionary tree. As evolutionary biologists study relationships among taxa, they regularly change not only the way organisms are grouped, but also sometimes the name of groups. Remember that cladograms are visual presentations of hypotheses about relationships and not hard and fast facts.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're saying our textbooks say that cladograms are based off hypotheses, not facts.
Yeah.
You obviously don't know what facts are. Cladograms are based on facts because hypotheses are based on facts. In fact, that's what a hypothesis is, an explanation of facts. Facts such as ones in the fields of comparative anatomy, comparative genomics, and the fossil record, all of which you will readily deny. They then start asserting that God created kinds, and that one kind can never and has never transitioned into another.
From the beginning, God created fully formed kinds of animals. So it isn't a tree like Darwin thought. Instead, it's an orchard. God created the different kinds of animals, and then they expressed all types of amazing variety as they bred within their kind.
And recombining genetic possibilities that God packed into the original kinds produced that variety?
Exactly.
Exactly not, because that's impossible with the catastrophic genetic bottleneck that is Noah's flood.
We see variation happening all the time, but we've never seen the evolutionary process of mutations and selection creating new kinds.
Well, here's the issue. You never defined kind. And because you don't have a definition of what a kind is, you can use it to constantly move the goalpost. I mean, what qualifies something as a kind? Is it animals that look similar? And if that's the case, then what about this? It sure looks like a snake, doesn't it? But it's actually a legless lizard, identified as such by the shape of its head, its movable eyelids, and its ability to amputate its own tail. There are even some like this that have stubs of vestigial legs. So are these lizard kinds, or are these snake kind? Or are they the same kind? How can you be sure? Or what about this? Is this a snake kind or a worm kind? Actually, it's neither, because it's a vertebrate and an amphibian. So what kind is it? Is it its own kind? And if kinds are defined by similarities, then what makes humans a totally different kind from apes? I mean, they do state that they are.
So dogs, apes, and people can show variety, but can never morph into a new kind.
You see, humans and other apes, because humans are apes, are incredibly similar. Everything that a chimpanzee has, a human has, and everything that a human has, a chimpanzee has. So other than Bible says so, what makes them different kinds? Is it our intelligence? Because that's just the development of the brain. How does that make us completely different types of animals? I mean, are we different kinds because we can't mate with each other? Because if that's the case, then new kinds are popping up all the time. And these guys are a little bit different than most creationists because they actually give a slight hint at a definition of kinds. They say that a chain of animals that can intermate are all part of the same kind.
Dogs can breed with coyotes, and coyotes can breed with wolves. They call it a coy-wolf. So they must all be part of the same created kind.
But by that definition, alligators and crocodiles are totally different animals. I mean, look at these guys. They're totally different. Same thing goes for frogs and toads. These animals don't share a common ancestor at all. And of course they readily deny all of the transitional fossils that poke holes in their narrative. But I guess we'll get to that in another video. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope my setup looks okay. I'm still getting used to it, still experimenting with it, so your feedback will be greatly appreciated.